Well, fellas, in true wargaming fashion, the second I had just finished uploading today's original video, a devblog is released. And in this devblog, there's a bit of big news in it. If you can't read the title of the video, yes, she's coming back. No, not just in like a super limited way. We'll get to that in a second. But anyway, so this is a devblog covering update 13.9. 13.8 is the next update coming out. So this is 5 weeks from whenever 13.8 comes out, which I think 13.8 should be coming out next week-ish. So we'll see about that. But again, it should be like either next week or the week after that if Wargaming follows their normal release pattern. But anyway, this devlog concerning update 13.9 brings not only news about that ship in the title, but also news about Tennessee and Hildebrand, some recently announced ships as well that apparently are coming out a little bit sooner than I had thought. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on into it. This devlog will be linked in the description down below, so if you wish to read along as I read aloud, you can check that out. You can also check out the chapters down below. If all you care about is the Enterprise or whatever ship we're going to be discussing in this devlog, check out that timeline. You can get right on to it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, and of course, normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, all that jazz helps out with the YouTube side of things. So, the devlog is titled Return of Mode Shuffle and Bounty Hunt, Anniversary of Battle of Leyte Gulf, and more. Close testing 13.9. So, Mode Shuffle is returning with this update, but they are changing out the modes a little bit, and this actually makes a lot of sense from my opinion. In my opinion, this makes a lot of sense. So what they're doing is they are removing Arms Race from Mode Shuffle, which, I mean, like, we already have Arms Race and Randoms. The Mode Shuffle one just cut down on the buffs that appeared on the outer rings of the map, but they are instead returning Epicenter to Mode Shuffle. So Epicenter is coming back to the game for the first time in what, 2 years? So the Epicenter mode will function as follows. They say there are 3 key areas. One is in the very center of the map, a ring that surrounds it, and yet a larger ring surrounding the first 2 areas. Capturing any of the areas doesn't block the capturing of the other 2 areas. If the following capturing rules apply to all 3, the following capturing rules apply to all 3 rings. If during the capture an enemy player enters the same area, the capture will be blocked but not cancelled. Take damage while capturing an area will reset the capture timer. If there's an enemy player in an area captured by your team, you will stop earning points for that area. You can win a battle by achieving any of the following: destroying all enemy ships, earning 1,000 points, causing the enemy team's points to reach 0. It will be on the maps Ice, Shards, Tears of the Desert, Trident, Neighborhood, Crush Zone Alpha, and Northern Waters. And they say this about some improvements they made. Additionally, we went ahead and made a number of improvements to Epicenter since the last time you may have seen it. We want to spice up Epicenter by adjusting the number of points generated by capturing key areas, which should make the end of these matches a bit more exciting. Before, you would earn 5 points every 5 seconds per captured area. Here's what we're changing it to. The outer ring, you get 5 points every 5 seconds, like the old Epicenter. The inner ring, 10 points every 5 seconds, and then the central ring, you get 15 points every 5 seconds. We've also increased the number of points a team loses if they lose control of a key area. The bonus/penalty for destroying ships has also been adjusted to match other game modes. And they do say that airship escort and convoys, they are going to be in the mode as they were previously. So, I mean, I think this makes a lot of sense. Epicenter, you know, there was lots of times in Epicenter where no one even went near the rings, and it was just random team deathmatch back in the day. And anyone that tells you that Epicenter was like a mode that was just 100% about brawling is lying. Like, yeah, you know, you would usually get a better chance of having some actual brawling occurring on Epicenter just because you would have to take the rings, right? But there were plenty of times when it was just a snipe fest galore. So putting Epicenter back into the the mode that's about close quarters combat makes a lot of sense. It's just been sitting on the shelves at Wargaming, just collecting dust, doing nothing. So why waste a mode if you could put it in a mode that is conducive to brawling? So it makes perfect sense in my mind, and I will be eager to see how these newer players deal with Epicenter, because I mean, again, this mode's been gone for 2 years now, over 2 years now, because I think 11 it was removed in 11.1 or 11.2, I think. So yeah, seeing how these new players react to it will be most interesting in my opinion. But I'm also turbo excited that Mode Shuffle is coming back. I had a blast in it last time, and I cannot wait to get back at it this time. Also, what's quite interesting is that we're getting a Red October themed bounty event. Now, you know, the bounty event, if you don't know, certain players get marked with a bounty, right? And you have to sink bounty ships in random battles. So that's like, you know, cool and all. But this time around, it's Red October. That's the theme of it. And it's like, okay, you know, like, October Revolution, we have a ship in the game that's, you know, literally Red October, right? No, it's not. That's not the imagery they went with, fellas. It's like, it's the Red October, like, Red October, Sean Connery Red October. That's the imagery they're going with here, apparently. I don't know if they've gone and somehow acquired the license to Red October from Tom Clancy's estate, or whatever studio owns that now. I wouldn't think so. I mean, I think the Typhoon class general design probably isn't enough to, it's not enough to where Wargame would have to worry about, like any copyright infringement. That's what I'm trying to say. But apparently it's Red October themed. I mean, hey, okay, cool. Like, that's cool. And if this is a surprise, Red October collaboration event, I'm down for that. That's my first Tom Clancy book. Really good book. You should read it if you haven't. But yeah, that's happening. So, okay, cool. And then, of course, the big bit of news, the Battle of Leyte Gulf anniversary event that is seeing the return of the Enterprise. So let's get on into it. So they say, this year marks the 80th anniversary of the largest naval battle of World War II, which took place in the waters of the Philippine Sea from October 23rd through 26, 1944. In dedication to the Battle of Leyte Gulf, we prepared a historical web adventure. Complete missions to earn the Battle of Leyte Gulf and USS Enterprise flags, the Grey Ghost patch, permanent camouflages, patches and containers, as well as a new temporary resource, Leyte tokens. Gotta love it. With these tokens, you'll be able to purchase premium ship containers, Battle of Leyte Gulf containers, historical commanders, the I Shall Return permanent camouflage for Tennessee. That's right, Tennessee's coming out with this. The Ghost of the Pacific permanent camouflage for Enterprise, and other valuable rewards. We're adding the following content for an upcoming event involving the Battle of Leyte Gulf. They just go through all that again. There's some more patches here. The all gave some gave all patch. Flag. The Last Great Naval Battle patch. The Battle of Leyte Gulf container. Alright, in the Battle of Leyte Gulf container, it's a container, right? So you get 5 special expendable economic bonuses of one type. You get 180,000 credits, 3,000 free XP, or 9,000 lead XP. That's in another slot. And then you get a 0.4% chance of getting the Wichita, Otago, Huga, California, Issei, or the West Virginia 44. And a 0.2% chance of getting the Tennessee or the Enterprise. But that is not how she's returning, fellas. I mean, she is kind of coming back in that way, but that's not what the title is referencing. Alright, so, and here's the premium containers. You get a 6% chance of getting the Tone, Wichita, Otago, Huga, or California, and then a 2% chance of getting the Tennessee or the Enterprise. So your odds are a little bit better there, and I'll have that graphic up on screen for you. Alright, but here's where the big bit of news is coming from. So they say, as you can see above, one of the eligible rewards from these containers is Enterprise, which is currently not an easy ship to obtain. By the way, if you're someone who happens to own the other Tier 8 ships in the container, then you will have a significantly higher chance to gain the Enterprise from the container. Additionally, if you complete specific combat missions during the event, then you will be able to purchase Enterprise from the Armory or Premium Shop outright, with doubloons or real money. So, by doing certain combat missions, the missions you complete by just going around in game, you can then outright buy the Enterprise with dubs or cash. That's pretty good. Now, obviously, that's going to depend on the combat missions, because that's probably what most of you are thinking about now. Well, then, surely these combat missions will be pretty tough. Well, it's not like you're getting the Enterprise from the combat missions. You're just unlocking the ability to buy the Enterprise from the combat missions. So, I don't think they'll be too hard. They might be a little bit grindy, but I don't think they're going to be like super difficult. Like, I don't think you're going to have to be like earning Krakens or anything like that to unlock the ability to give Wargaming $50 for the Enterprise. The Enterprise is pretty solid tier 8 carrier nowadays, one of the better ones for sure, mainly because of the plane regeneration rate. Like I said in the past, it's a far cry from what it was, but of course it's a highly significantly historical ship. In that's where its main appeal is probably coming for a lot of players in the NA realm. But I mean, it's the most decorated ship of World War II. It unfortunately wasn't preserved. She unfortunately wasn't preserved as a museum ship. Why not? I can't tell you. But yeah, having the ability to finally buy her again outright rather than just gambling for her is a huge plus. Now, again, it is going to depend on how tough these campaign missions are. Sorry, these combat missions are. But since she's not really that OP anymore, she's not really, oppressive like she used to be back in the day, I don't think they'll really want to like lock that behind a super tough mission, like if they were putting the Musashi back out there for purchase, So I wouldn't think they would be too difficult. And if they are like ungodly, through the roof in terms of their difficulty, in terms of the difficulty, or in terms of their grindiness, I will surely make a video condemning Wargaming for doing that. But I don't think they'll be too bad. I mean, like the Wisconsin wasn't that hard to get. It took a minute to grind all the combat missions to get her, but she's probably one of the most powerful ships released in the past 2 years in the game. And again, it wasn't like you had to give up your life to get the ship, like with the first Puerto Rico dockyard, So I think it'll be pretty reasonable. Again, especially since you're having to still give Wargaming money to get the ship. You're not getting the ship for free. You're still having to fork over, again, about $50 US for the Enterprise. So I'm glad they're finally bringing her back in some way, shape, or form for outright purchase, even though you have to play the game a bit in order to acquire her. But there you go. Now, there is one last sentence, well, 2 sentences on that little paragraph. And as the final reward for completing the whole campaign, which, mind you, won't be easy, so there's a campaign for this event, you will get our newcomer, legendary Tennessee, for free. You get Tennessee for free. Tennessee is looking like she's going to be a pretty good ship, even with the most recent nerfs. Well, they took her dispersion down from actual cruiser dispersion to battle cruiser dispersion. But, I mean, yeah. She can also be obtained from the containers mentioned above, and she will also be available for direct purchase, but only for a limited time. I do like that they clarify that there, and, rather than just releasing her, then removing her 2 weeks later. So you can get Tennessee for free by completing the campaign for the event, or you can purchase her, or you can get lucky in one of the containers and pick her up there. So that's very nice, getting the Tennessee for free. Alright, some other things that are happening. They are adding in some new camos for German reunification, along with a special commander and a flag, German flag. Cool. Alright. And then we are getting some new permanent camos for the Kutuzov, the Nelson, the Gwipard, the Anhalt, and the Ohio that are themed around ice. So we have some ice theming event coming up, along with the King of Winter, Leyte the Cold, Unique Commander, and the Captain's Club Anniversary flag. So that's going to be a thing now. Now the last bit of information that's worth note is here at the end. So we are getting some updates to the German Cruiser Premium Container in Update 13.9. And one of those updates is that they are adding Hildebrand to the container. So we now know that Hildebrand, the German Tier 10 hybrid cruiser abomination, is coming out sometime in 13.9 whenever these changes to the German Cruiser Premium Container go live. Will she be available directly for purchase? I'd like to think so. They've been doing a better job of releasing ships outright in the shop rather than locking them behind some type of event. But I won't hold my breath. We'll see that when it happens, you know? So that is it for this dev blog, fellas. So Enterprise is coming back. Again, you gotta play a little bit of the game in order to acquire the ability to purchase her, which is kind of funny now that I'm thinking about it. But hey, at least you'll be able to buy her outright after grinding out a couple of missions. You don't have to worry about gambling her for those of us that haven't acquired her just yet. So I think that is, again, still a big positive. Tennessee is also going to be free, which is really cool. I'm glad about that. So here's to update 13.9, fellas. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You excited for the Enterprise to come back? Do you think she should stay as a super mega rare ship or not? Let me know in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday and a wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.